Welcome back to part 7 of the 1949 Dumont Stratford model RA105 restore. First thing I'll be doing, removing the channel dial bezel. I think it was originally that color right there. You can see where it's where the eye tube goes. And it's kind of a bright finish, so we'll see what we can do with those. This shield I think is glass, so we'll try to take it out also. Well, interesting way they done these bezels. This bezel and then the eye tube bezel. They're just pieces bent over, but they have a staple on each one to hold them in place. So I think if we prise those staples out, those tabs will probably straighten out really easy and we can just pull that out. I think that is a piece of glass for the implosion shield, and it just has brackets for those with screws. And I'll take the speaker grill out too. I'm just going to take my pocket knife, see how strong these staples are, and not strong at all, just a conventional staple. Well, I see no reason why when we get ready to put this back in, we can just use just a hand stapler. I think you can kind of see the color that it was when it was new. Really easy. All right, here's a speaker grill, and that grill cloth looks fine. I don't think we're even going to have to change it. Still got a uniform color, and probably can't find that type pattern in a new grill cloth, so we'll definitely reuse that. All right, one more thing to take out. Pretty good design on this front piece of glass. You can see those brackets. I just loosened them and turned them, and I can leave them in there, and the glass will come right out. That's a good full 1/4 inch. Nice thing to see is the original Dumont label with the tube layout. And if you'll look, I hadn't noticed this before, but when they replaced that original AP15 AP4, the technician wrote on the layout 15 DP4. So that's pretty neat. There's all the patents that they had. Here's our knobs that we took off the front of the set. These 4 I think can clean up okay, but we have 2 that the gold centers are missing. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. The 2 tuner knobs, I'm pretty sure they would clean up really well. They don't look too bad at all. And I definitely have to use that larger one, even if I find some replacements for these. That larger one goes right in the center of the dial. Well, I think I've come up with a plan. And looking at one of these smaller knobs that the insert's missing, it's got a decorative rings in the center of that. So I'm thinking I could paint the center of this gold. And I know the other knobs are made the same way because this insert on the large knob was loose, And there you see the ribs. So I think that's the new plan. I'd love to be able to put these gold ones back on, but chances of finding those is impossible. I don't think there's any way I'd ever be able to locate them. I'm going to go ahead and pull the inserts out of the rest of these smaller knobs. I'll clean the knobs up and we'll go from there. I'll hang on to them in case something turns up and I can find a couple more. But for now, we're going to just clean these knobs up and look into just painting those centers gold. Just put them in some soapy water, let them soak for probably an hour. Here's the ones that I've taken out. Most of these older knobs, I run into this a lot on about any brand, they get this white stuff on the outside, and I'm assuming it's just part of the plastic back in the day, that part is breaking down and changing colors. It seems to come off, but it will come back. I know on some Motorola's I've done, if you don't put some clear or something over the top of this, that white film will be back. Once I paint the gold in the center of these, I'll probably put a coat of clear on it. Maybe that'll prevent it from doing that. And here's how I'm painting the centers. I'll clean that edge off once the paint dries. Don't have to be too precise because that'll come off. Using some gold paint that a spray can that I put in this little container. This old brush that I've had for a good while. I'll clean it out when I get finished. It works for doing things like this. And there's the knobs. Put a couple of coats on each one. So we'll let that dry. And we'll clean the edges off. I think they'll look nice with that gold center. So the knobs are starting to turn white again. So I'm experimenting with this one. I cleaned the white off and I sprayed a coat of clear. This would dry within an hour easily, so we'll know pretty quick. Update on the knobs. The urethane is it's dry to the touch, and I don't see any white coming back. It's pretty good. I think we're going to go get the rest of the knobs. We'll go ahead and clean them off and spray them while we're into it. A couple of coats of polyurethane. Well, I found out what these little slots in the end of this plastic are for. Alright, that one's in. You can see this one is away from it. And look up here. This thing has shrank probably almost 1/4 of an inch. So I don't think that's going to work. I think we're going to have to cut a new one. Thought maybe cut it a little larger and then put it in behind this edge here. And just let these pieces, let the bezel hold it in. I don't know, I have to come up with something on that. But right now I'm going to do some polishing on this. I'm going to try Brasso first. Just trying a little area with a Q-tip. See what it does. Oh, I think it's coming back. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of restorers say, nah, you need to leave that color, but I just like for it to look a little brighter, so that's why I'm doing this. I think I'm to a stopping point. It's not perfectly uniform color, but that's fine. Still has the brass look to it. I like the brighter look. I think I've come up with a solution on the plastic. This is just a lid off of a plastic container. Well, I've got the piece of plastic cut, and I cut it larger than the inside of the bezel, and I'm hoping it'll just set against the cabinet. I'll take it out there and try it. Yeah, I couldn't get rid of that little emblem there at the bottom, and there's actually some writing right there at the top, but not too bad. Still have to bore the hole in the center of it if this works. But I'm going to take it out to the cabinet and let's see what it looks like in there. Well, that will work. I just need to figure out, see, there's plenty of movement, so I just need to glue it to the inside of the bezel. But that will, I think that'll do it. Now the only issue is if I put it on the inside of the bezel like that, well, the dial hit it. I think the dial is adjustable enough front to back that I can pull it away from this piece of plastic if I have to. So we're going to go with that. Need to go bore this hole in the middle. First I made me a dot in the center, and I think you can tell there's a little dimple in the center of this, so that made it easier. Bore a hole where that black dot is. Then we're going to use a step bit to get it to the correct size. Using the larger step bit, and I've marked where I need to stop at. That's what the black mark is. Here's the old one. I think that should be good enough. Yeah, it's not as smooth and perfect as the original was, I'm sure, but we'll get that cleaned up and get all the fingerprints off of it. I think it'll work. And there's the bezels with a couple of coats of clear on them. Well, it's been about 24 hours since I put the clear on these knobs. I think we can call that a success. Hope it'll last a good while. And there's the bezels with a couple of coats of clear on them. That'll do it for part 7. Check back in part 8 when we're going to be working on the wood cabinet. So thanks for watching. See you then. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, and we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel. Thanks.